Welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, to the DreamHack Open live here from Austin. It's our first decider match for the groups. eUnited going up against the Fragsters. eUnited with a booming start back on the first map, but sadly, it would not come to pass. They lost it, and we did end up seeing Fragsters take control of our opening fight on Nuke. Now it's going to be heading over to Mirage, potentially to settle the series if we can see Fragsters pull off a 2-0.
It was an exciting match all the way through, both sides, and unfortunately for eUnited, there was a little bit more chinks in their armor on the T side, which I think Fragsters managed to have like somewhat of a half of it, even though eUnited's CT side was so good and the rotations were on point. So at the end of the day, Fragsters pulled out the map that they wanted to have, and now they get to move on to Mirage, which is kind of eUnited's turf, but I would still be worried if I was eUnited to go up against a team like Fragsters, who seem to be fairly malleable.
Absolutely. Fragsters definitely not giving up, even when the going got tough back on Nuke there and they started to fall behind at the start. They battled their way back very quickly. We saw them still able to maintain and eventually take control of that map. You can see the odds there once again, definitely favoring things towards Fragsters now at this point after they've taken control of the first map, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily that one-sided now. We're going to have to wait and see, though. Like I said before, Fragsters having a decent amount of experience on this map when it comes to their LAN performance. Sadly, it's not the best experience. They've taken quite a few losses on this map on LAN, going against some very high-tier teams, and that's the caveat to it, is they've had relatively close matches against guys like Virtus Pro and Gambit and whatnot. Never really able to pull off any big victories, though, I don't think, when they had that kind of premier event at the Bets.net Masters.
And yeah, as for eUnited, they've taken down a lot of the lower to mid-tier North American teams, as well as given just a lot of good teams a run for their money, and even had some pretty big performances here. And even their match versus Frags, there's a lot of cool stuff to pull from it that I would think about, you know, fondly if I were on eUnited. But yeah, here on Mirage, the options are wide open. I think if I was eUnited, I'd just be most afraid of the fact that Dragonfly just looked so damn good last game. You know, he was just looking smart, fluid, and it's a map that has so many wide open angles for you to approach as a CT. The way that you can play connector just alone can throw a wrench into anybody, to throw into anybody's T side if they try to go for mid control, which is, you know, quintessential to winning T rounds, is to have that default where you can get top box control, which means crossing, and then fight whoever's in connector, which is almost certainly going to be Dragonfly in most of the rounds. And that alone can turn a T side on its head.
Hopefully we get to see a little bit more of Ace this time, too. Sadly, we didn't see a whole lot from his opening presence going into the last month there. It seemed like he was just kind of uncomfortable in a lot of those situations. We didn't even see a lot of outside play in general back on Nuke from the guys on eUnited. They seemed very timid to be taking those duels. So hopefully Mirage is a bit more of a comfortable ground for them to be able to play on, and we could see those players shine out just a little bit more on this second map to bring them back into the series and tie this up 1-1. I want to see it go the distance, definitely. I want that rematch back on Cash. Saw it played yesterday, and even that one went the distance there. It was looking like we'd see one team close that quickly, but went right back at it, and we ended up having a very back-and-forth affair to the bitter end. eUnited did eventually win that map yesterday, but of course now they have the rematch before them now, and it's for a spot in the semifinals tomorrow. So everything is on the line.
The way I see it is that Mirage is the North American map. Right, this is our map. Okay, this is the map that we should be winning on, and I think that's, you know, it would be a huge letdown for United to lose this, not bring it to a third, to not be able to see what could happen in a third map or 3-map series. So I'm expecting big things.
It's going to be a few more moments away, ladies and gentlemen, from starting off this second map between the two teams. All players are connected and nearly ready to go, so the action will be starting very, very soon. We definitely had some highlights there in our previous map. Relics as well, certainly, I think, the surprise of that last map, especially the opening couple of rounds. He had that great clutch in the pistol, and we saw him showing up with some good stances in the gun rounds as well, especially on the CT side. So I'm looking forward to see if we can get that kind of a performance again on the same side now on Mirage. Again, just another fact that they're going to be a little bit more comfortable on this map. As you mentioned, it's an NA map. We see playing scrims and officials way more often in the region. So we should overall see a bit more confidence coming out of the eUnited side as well.
Talking to some of the eUnited guys, I think they said that this is the first, well, this is the first eUnited, like they've been to DreamHacks before, but this is the first DreamHack under eUnited, who seem to be the organization that's going to carry the flag for them for, you know, the foreseeable future. They seem to be very, very happy with the organization, and even though they're somewhat fresh in terms of having a Tier 1 or up-and-coming team, or team that's going to potentially be in the Tier 1, it's cool that they're enthusiastic about the fact that this is their, you know, what could be a big result on LAN for them. at their first DreamHack under the banner.
One of their first bigger lands that they would be able to end up going on towards as well. Is sadly, they haven't had a whole lot of LAN experience going into this year, pretty much only playing at the ESA MDL finals throughout the course of this year so far on LAN anyway, having plenty of experience online, and most recently just qualifying for EPL. So that's going to be something that they have to look forward to in the next coming months as well. There's a lot of very cool stuff that we're going to be seeing from eUnited within the next few months, and this could be a great start to that story if they do manage to knock out the Fragsters. Potentially as well push forward into the semifinals tomorrow. But they've got to work to get there. They had a great chance of taking that one. Sadly, they lost that opportunity. So now they really need to bring the firepower here on the second map.
Yeah, they've got to get used to all the travel and all the different lands that they're going to be traveling to. I wonder what happens to the scene. I think this is, you know, the fresh injection of talent that a lot of people have been waiting for, right? Finally, a kind of a stop to refreshing a lot of players that we feel like have run their course and I think can still share their experience with a lot of the young players, but at this point probably are better off not playing and maybe doing things like coaching or analyzing as opposed to playing and allowing players like this to slowly take over or just, you know, feed lifeblood into the scene at the top level.
All right, well, the players are doing the knife round right now, so we'll get you guys the side in just a second as soon as that concludes. But once again, the players to keep your eyes on in this matchup. Looking at both sides here, eUnited, you definitely want to try to keep an eye on Ace to see if that op performance improves. Relics to see if we can see some more clutch plays out of him. Guys like Dazzle as well, who's generally been the kind of front runner for the team in many of their matches. When it comes to Fragsters, it's definitely Dragonfly, Stavin as well, but we want to keep our eyes on.
Yeah, so we just saw Fragsters pull out the knife round and are now going to opt to start on the CT side first. Might be just a level of comfortability on starting on CT side. I wouldn't say that people have talked about the side bias of any map for a long time now, which is really great because it felt like that conversation would never end. So like how important a knife round was, you know, Nuke was almost decided by knife rounds, Overpass at a certain point was decided by knife rounds, Inferno was decided by knife rounds, and now maps are so 50-50 to the point that like you have to see a 12-7 lead. It doesn't actually matter so much what side they're on. It's mostly about what side your team is good on, which is great. You know, this is more of a meritocracy in that regard, no matter where you are in a certain map. It doesn't feel like you know what the outcome will be, which is way more exciting.
All right, guys, well, we are ready to go now. The pistol round is live, so let's dive into our second map. It's going to be Mirage, potentially the decider for this series if Fragsters come out on top, but eUnited, a chance to push it to a rematch from yesterday on Cash if they can take it. Let's get started. Fragsters on the CT side, eUnited on offense. As we begin the opening round, and eUnited are going to take their players, all 5, directly towards the A-bomb site. Bit of a split in the way that they approach it. Looks like 4 are going to be heading out through the ramp more than likely, with 1 in the palace.
Bubsky to take first contact with the USP to watch the cross. He's playing the edge of the smoke right now as Dazzle flies over the stairs, and Bubsky is once again going to be here to take first contact and delivers. 3-piece for him. Unclear how he got one of those kills, but he put it on the board. That's all he's got to tell his team. That
third one's a crazy flick from him as he's able to knock out an additional player. eUnited's numbers all of a sudden just gone as they're going to try to move in, clearing out this site as a 2-man team. I was interested to see if they would have gone through the crawl space and try to make a quick rotate towards B, but that's not going to be happening, although they're trapped inside of the window room now. Ace is left alone, having to hold on his lonesome, and sadly won't remain that way for long. It's Fragsters that pick up the pistol, and they're going to start off with a lead.
You can see by the way Bubsky played that he's kind of seen that smoke before, and it was clear that he was confident in that position and knew that if they crossed that way that he'd be able to take advantage of it. If they want to go to the site, I mean, he could just peer around the edge of it, and he was safe to fall back through it as well. So he had many options, and could also clear that cross to CT from triple. Putting the 3-piece on the board was just the icing on the cake.
Pretty much is going to be a deagle round here from eUnited as 4 players buy into that. Ace obviously saving for the Obel Eagles for a P250 this time around. Very active mid-presence from the Fragsters here too, and Dapper missing a chance to clip off a player that goes spot peeking over by the van position. However, Relics finds some success in mid. With the assistance of Ace, they're able to knock out Refresh. Bubsky too. He's going to lose a little bit of HP from a fight that he took. At the same time, some of that damage has been traded back on the eUnited, and the eUnited, sadly, have not been able to get a whole lot of control just yet. They're still kind of lurking in the lanes. The real story here is Dazzle that managed to sneak in through ramp and is holding right now behind Tetris. Dapper's found himself another kill, though, with the Deagle back out in mid. That was Dragonfly taken down in that forward mid position. However, he's now going to be locked behind these top boxes. He has 2 other CTs waiting for him. Look at Dazzle Once again, the walks right up. No way Bubsky's going to be expecting that, and now he's got a rifle to try to play off of inside of the connector too. Dapper needs someone to save him, but no, apparently not. He picks up 2 kills on his own, and there's the eco win from eUnited as they immediately tie it up at 1-1.
Damn, bro, you didn't expect him to get that second one. That was more than nice. And you know, Dazzle was about to come in for the flank just to clean it up, but he had to get both by himself. That was some really nice shooting here.
Only has about 11 HP when he does this too, so it's a high-pressure situation. I think he almost dies because of the spam right there, but gets the final shot off just in the nick of time. And that's not going to put Fragsters on their own buy-in. It's not a complete force. Dragonfly saving up a little bit here, but the other players do pretty much buy in all the way. They try to get aggressive on the opening couple seconds of the round, but it's not worked out too well. Moose gets the opening kill. Brings us into a 5v4.
Yeah. Rounds begun to open up. Dazzle here sees that there's like one player jump spotting at B. Rotates are starting to occur. Bubsky goes down. And now with all the CTs pushing, they're just going to continue to give up information. High risk, high reward. But not a lot to lose. So all the reason in the world to go and try it.
Slow walking from eUnited now as they're also going to start to move their 2 players in T-spawn with the bomb in hand. We're towards the ramp to start this crunch. There is still one guy waiting out in Palace that could open up a flank against them. See him right there. That's going to be Stavin as he tries to push his way back over on the VA site, but they're aware of it. They molly him back out. So he's going to have to wait a little bit before he can have any effect. It's the other 2 players rotating their way over from the B marketplace. They're going to start their push inside as well. The T's have some pretty solid control here. This is going to be looking rough for the Fragsters, as indeed they clean up shop nice and easily and put a second round on the board for themselves.
Yeah, no problem. And I mean, it was already a bad score line, or just a bad stat line for Fragsters, who I think are 3-7 in pistols. But now they win a pistol, which brings them to 4, but then they lose the second round, which is actually worse. So that's also something to take into consideration, and might come to haunt them, especially with a team that seems to be somewhat evenly matched up versus them. So initial B-hop out mid as everybody clears things out. United realizing that they're not going to have a lot of utility. That is the CTs to defend against this. And Dazzle spots some commotion, understands that there's people here in the B site. Not knowing exactly how many are going to give him trouble or how many have decided to rotate. So can't make a confident call for his team to say we should go here or we shouldn't, but I think we'll be happy to fight a little bit.
Taking that fight, confirming the first kill against Stavin. Ston, yes. So I forgot when we got told. I forgot the pronunciation, so I didn't want to get it completely wrong.
Yeah. We got Ston and Refresh.
Ston, okay.
And
Corbin's is different too.
Corbin, what was it? Corbin, yeah.
I think it was Tobin, right?
I forgot what letters to skip.
I probably just whiffed it really bad, actually.
Tobin?
I think the R is silent. I think that's
We're about to get some tweets, Blue. Tweets incoming.
Either way, United do a great job of holding off in their post plant. They've restricted the positions here. Ooh, they're even going to drop the M4 that was trying to be saved too. Just Bubsky, he does pick up the M4. Moose making the wraparound though, and it's actually Relics that gets the final kill as United put up a third.
Yeah, important thing for them was just not die, and they did do that. Kept one up, or only lost one, I should say. It's on Fragsters now. Dragonfly picking up the Yop, and this is definitely a comfort move from him. He's good with his gun. I mean, he's good with his gun, so I'd like to definitely have Dragonfly watch for some of this round, depending on how aggressive he's going to be. Wow, United going for the walkout play to start things off. Ston's in a really tough spot. He's going to get spammed to death here if he's not smart about it.
It's going to be quite a bit of a rotate to be able to get their offer inside here, too. It's a 2-for-1 trade to open it up. Ston can't get anything, unfortunately, with his position back by Ticket. And Dragonfly, you can forget about him. He has to save. That's it. United take clean control of the site. There's nothing else to be discussed.
An orange-dominated kill feed, 5 to 10 seconds into the execute. It's just a really bad sign for the Fragsters because it shows that they had all the people in place. Everybody was there on a quick rotate. They had one in each of the most important spots under Balk at triple and CT, as well as jungle, and each respectively lost their duels. So what can you really say about that aside from you got to do better, guys?
Yeah,
Gotta do a bit better.
So Relics will actually prevent the save on Dragonfly as well, meaning we won't see that op carried through into the next round. No potential for a Dragonfly ace to maybe flip things around here a little bit for the Fragsters. They do have to go the normal route just into the half buy next, as they're in the sequence now.
Yeah, and the other thing is just like, that doesn't even count as a strat, you know. Fragsters have to be aware of the fact that a walkout is there, but for eUnited, I mean, that's the most simple thing that they could possibly do. So they might continue to abuse it, they might not, but it's always in their back pocket from this point on.
Relics taking an aggressive duel, but unable to pick out the second. That's where Dazzle comes in, though. He's able to find the trade. He might be getting one more. Takes the duel versus the player in the hallway. That's going to be Tobin that has to fall back, however. Dazzle will actually get another chance to knock him out, but this time Tobin does much more damage.
It's kind of a precarious situation for eUnited, who have had favorable trades, but Dazzle knows he's low, picks up an op. They probably want to try to get rid of the one rifle they have laying there in underpass. But all the while, Bubsky is on a search mission of his own and has allowed his teammates to confidently play the B site together with all the information that he's gathered. CZs are no gun to sleep on.
Ooh, Dapper connects that headshot, I think, through the wall, and Ace just says goodbye to Refresh, wraps around and easily dispatches of him. Bubsky's the last hope, does at least bait the op shot from Dazzle, and he's incredibly low. So there's a good chance that we could see Bubsky try to swing in, quickly pick up that op, and run away. But at the same time, the longer he waits on this, the more of a chance that Dapper's going to be in a flank position to stop him from successfully saving that. They're going to be very safe with the way they handle this. Flashbang assist allows Ace to quickly just walk in, knock him out, and prevent that other death against Dazzle, and keep eUnited strong. 4 alive and 5 rounds overall here.
Again, a really good start to the half, which is the most important part. Second op in adjustment for Fragsters is Ston. Now the two brothers going into this. Has Lucas ever picked up the second op?
I don't think so.
I feel like he's tried, but it just wasn't.
If he did, it wasn't too successful.
Wasn't too successful, yeah. Ston's probably a better player, though. I wonder if he's actually good with this gun. All right, never mind.
First guy to die, of course. So Ace is going to be the one that picks him off with an aggressive push over towards the B halls once again. Down's going to go swabbing.
Yeah, no shame in losing a duel to Ace, though.
Yeah.
Super quick.
That was one of the players that we were talking about. Looking to hopefully see him step up a little bit more now that he's in a more comfortable map position here. Fresh as well. He's waiting for the next move to be made by Dazzle, but there's a great flash and connector that's going to let him walk right out. Doesn't give him the free win on the duel, though, so he still has to get in a close contest. But Dragonfly gets caught looking the wrong direction. Timing works out for Dapper, and he knocks out Dragonfly, leaving the CTs with only 2 still standing, both of which are stuck off of the A site, meaning we're going to have another clean plant from eUnited.
Complete connector crush, and we can see the spacing is impeccable. Everybody getting into the sites, up their choke points at the perfect moments. Ooh, that was a very nice shot from Dapper. Has had measurable impact this round, as well as this game. And it really looks like he's calling on timing when he peeks out mid, but once that kill comes through, I mean, that's when Dragonfly gets distracted, and then that's when Dapper peeks. So I think it shows that he knew when to activate from his position. Oh, and Dazzle tried to get tricky with him.
No scope against Dazzle, quickly eliminates him. Still 4 more players looking for him, however, but he's ready for Dapper. Makes it all too easy to connect onto that shot. Brings the United roster down to 3. He'll go inside of Market once again. Looking for another shot. This time, no, he's finally going to get run into a corner. And Ace will be the one to take him out.
Yeah, getting all the kills is going to be nice for eUnited. Not enough money to buy. And even if they have the will to win, we'll have to kind of wane this feeling for a round. Just mull over their potential options and just do better next round.
Yeah, United's money is getting crazy at this point. The lowest amount of money they have is 2 of their players, Dazzle and Dapper, both sitting at 8.9K. Beyond that, Relics has exactly 10,000, and it just gets even better from there. Moose at 11.6K, and Ace at 12.2K. And this is after they've bought everything for the round as well.
Got a Bitcoin each. So they can at least get something. They know that they get full money next round. I think they have decided here, though, to not have enough money to buy an op next round, which I think is kind of surprising. Do they not? Well, with full loss, will anybody be able to buy an op, Lou?
On Fragsters?
Maybe with
so, yeah.
half armor. Maybe with half armor, no nades.
I think they should be able to. gonna be a bit close though.
It's definitely worthwhile to spend a little bit on max loss. Some information gathered.
Specifically as Dragonfly gets over there towards top mid. United a little bit hesitant this time. Not wanting to go in too early here. Whereas previously they've been, well, all right. Just go for direct pushes, especially in the gun rounds. But the ecos, that's why they're a little bit more precarious about what exactly Fragsters' positions are going to be like. There we go. Dazzle plays the patient game, though. Didn't get tagged. It works out for him. Moose elsewhere on the map was able to find one for himself. He manages to pick off that opening kill. Fresh, though, sitting in the corner. But they expect him. The spam draws him out of the corner, knocks him out, and it's just Dragonfly left standing over here at the top of mid, right around the elbow. Sadly, probably not going to see a whole lot of action from that position.
Deciding to split up when you have a half buy is not weird. It's everyone just goes on and tries to make some individual plays, but the frag count is so low just overall for Fragsters. I mean, Ston has not got a kill yet, and nobody else is in the double digits into round 7. Which I guess, I mean, that would put you, at above 1 KPR, which would be an outstanding statistic. But still, I think it's like 8 and then 3 kills, right? Which it's not so much an attack on their individual efforts, so much as it's I don't know, it just puts on notice how little economic damage Fragsters have done, right? That's why United have so much money left over.
Especially on anti-ecos, for the most part, United has been running over Fragsters here. They take it very slow, very cautiously. They're aware of the counter-aggression that could come out from the CTs. And again, it's a good start from United, as we have very often seen on these gun rounds. They go back to a fast-paced strat, and immediately it kills the offer from Fragsters.
Yeah, Dazzle straight up outclasses Dragonfly at mid. Well, I think was just trying to duck out and fly through underpass and look for a kill there. Bugsy pushing A ramp once again, but Moose is too aware.
Ready to take that fight, so it's another kill going by the way of United, although, of course, Moose going to be very low, so he's going to have to play cautiously for the rest of this round. A site, though, it's wide open once again. Fragsters have already been forced back at the very minimum over by the crawl space here. Relics and the rest of his team are still clearing it out, but you can see Ston's not even trying to remain inside of the site, just wants to try and take a duel that he can have a pretty massive advantage on. That's why he's maintained outside and even has team support back inside of the kitchen.
No choice but to go for the gamble stack. It does one of two things. Just two of two things. It does multiple things, Blue. It allows you to recycle the guns if they don't come to your site, and it allows you to have a high chance to win the round if they do. So, just hoping that in the off chance they decide to make some crazy rotate back, or they seek out information. It's great opportunities to trade. Much higher chance of staying alive too with 3 people, and you're also less likely to see United search too thoroughly when they know that they'll probably die or lose their first kill looking for people.
Full saves, though, coming out now. And the T's are going to make an attempt to hunt them down. This is not going to be the easiest angle to play off of, though, because they're going to work their way up the steps, not get spotted by Ston on the way up, and then, of course, wrap back around and take good positions to fight these guys out inside of the apartment. Ston's in position. He's going to find 1 and 2 kills. Hook, line, and sinker for him right there. Easy knockout on Dapper and Relics, and keeps the save alive.
Those are his first 2.
They were, actually.
Yeah, those are his first 2.
He did not go Secret Agent, though, just to note that. He did get assists at some point there.
There you go. Yeah, the first one's the hardest. That's for sure. It's crazy how things can vary so much map to map.
Yeah, this is very much the kind of the extreme case right here. Yeah. United just pretty much shutting down Fragsters for the most part.
Yeah. We
haven't really seen anything from them this one. Although this might be something to take home about. Ston moves forward, gets his 3rd kill now at mid by knocking out Dapper early on. Moose, where are you going? He's just out outside of the A site, all on his lonesome right now. And Ston's going to be able to rotate from mid to be able to take him down too. Now Ston's kicking it up a bit. He's got 4 kills just the last 2 rounds. Yeah,
mid-presence like that is a great way. I think they were planning on having Moose Sometimes you have players that play in Palace that almost never do anything in a T-half, and they're basically there just to make sure that no one pushes through. But sometimes, like in that situation where a kill happens at mid, or they see there's heavy mid control, so Dapper might have thought that, all right, there's 2 to 3 people here maybe. Okay, Moose knows that and hears that. Here's a great chance for me to push out of push out of Palace. And there's actually very few angles that are going to be fighting him, because it could be the connector guy that's now fighting at mid that's no longer watching Palace, and then you can focus on CT.
Ston running all over the map now, getting another kill. This time on the top of the steps through underpass. Dragonfly has missed the note, though, on these players of our Cat, so they're going to be able to take him out. Finally, something goes United's way, but they have a long climb to get back into this round. Looks like they might try to split over here. Oh, good reaction from Dazzle, too. He was losing end of that fight easily. They're not going to split, though. Relics will group up with Dazzle. They'll put the smoke inside of the crawl space and head onto the A site, which once again is relatively open, minus Refresh sitting by Ticket. This is the real issue, though, is Stout again wrapping back over. Refresh gets blinded out, so he's easily dispatched, but here comes Stout once again. 4th kill, almost the ace, but Razzle does take him down, and Down's going to move forward, tries to win out the 1v1, but Bubsky is going to stop him, and we do finally see another round go up on the board for Fragsters because of that.
When did Ston just go from the bottom to the top of the scoreboard? He is straight up pissed off with his 4K. That was almost an amazing ace, that last shot as well. And there it is, the lurk kill. And again, just being very fluid, appearing in multiple spots.
And again, he just kind of kicked up out of nowhere. All kills that he's had so far, 6 out of 6 of his kills have been claimed within the last 2 rounds.
It's kind of what they needed, right? It's kind of why they picked him up, I'm sure.
Shows us again as well why he is the player to watch for this matchup here. As we are going to see United go back to that more straightforward execute. Pretty much the entire team stacking up at Palace and Ramp right now, getting ready to move in. But Fragsters have the stack here as well. The standard setup for them, 3 on the site, 1 in mid, leaving only 1 to defend the B site. But that's not going to be a problem as long as especially Dragonfly can hold. Because remember, he was solo holding B previously. They switched into this site because of how often United were executing here. 1-to-1 traits so far as United push forward and pretty much rush the plant because they have the smoke set up so they can get it on the ground amongst the confusion. Speaking of confusion, Bubsky's going to get blinded out, and with that, Moose will jump over top of him to knock Bubsky out. Tobin as well is forced to sit back, although he finds a nice pick against Dapper. Out by Bubsky, of course. Another one found by him as he successfully defends CT spawn and brings the numbers advantage back under the control of the Fragsters. Ace still holding as well close to the bomb, but he gets picked off by Refresh, leaving everything on to Moose here. No clue where Moose is at. He picks up 1, but is immediately traded by Refresh again. And Fragsters will have plenty of time to defuse, so they're going to get their 3rd.
Somehow they pull that retake off. I mean, the prospect of CT was so tantalizing that they really put it on the table by trying to fight it and allowing Relics and I think the second player who went into CT to die was where the round kind of began and ended, excuse me. And as for the Fragsters, they're just on an individual level. We're able to turn up, hold on to their spots, and I think, Torben there in CT was man of the hour. Putting up the 2-piece half-blind.
Dapper's going to make a run up mid here nice and early on, but look who's waiting around the corner. Nobody's expecting it either. Ston knocks out Dapper. And again, it's Fragsters with the opening 5v4 advantage to play off of here. Relics is still going to hold in mid. He's looking for the opportunity to find that trade onto his dead teammate, but Ston's falling back now. He's still holding safely in a position back on Cat and is waiting for the T's to push themselves. Dazzle is soon going to be joining the fight here at mid too. He's got the rotate coming in through underpass. And in addition, Alex is no longer going to be alone in mid. He's got the bomb with him. Over the op from Ace. So United look to take quick control in mid. Ooh, this timing is going to be interesting here. Stone spams in. I don't even think he realized he fell down there. So obviously that realization will come in a little bit late. The mollies will miss, though, because of the quick smoke that was tossed up by Smino. What is this? Jumps back out, but he is caught by Relics at top mid. So no chaos is going to be found there.
Yeah, that was the most 16-year-old thing.
Refresh is going to make a play, and Bubsky's still holding a good angle here, too. They have this great crossfire to cut off the connector pressure, and there you go. Relics will get 1 more kill in the round, but that's it. Another one for the Fragsters as they finally found some momentum here, and we're going to see a timeout called by eUnited.
He was feeling it for some reason. Even down, I mean, I think he just farmed enough in those last few rounds to, like, feels like he's made of steel at the moment, and after they trade that out, just, I don't know, their ability to hold on connector was pretty impressive. And yeah, United started to slip up on a lead once again. And again, this is a map that they should definitely be better on.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw them with a dominating stance. This was a scoreline that was at once 8-1. It was very, very dominant for eUnited. And sadly, the tables have flipped relatively quickly. Well, they haven't been able to burn through the entirety of eUnited just yet. They're still keeping a constant buy stream going here. It's the scoreline that matters. If they lose this massive lead, then they're going to have to really prepare to fight on that CT side to bring things back when the second half rolls around. And just a couple of rounds here, only 3 remaining in the half.
2 brothers opping once again. Op pick from Ace. Response shot is there, but it's off by a small margin. That allows Ace to, come out ahead, 80 damage. Pretty sure that he did the damage.
Just a tad too passive on the angle there, sadly, so he's not going to get that chance. And Relics doesn't even realize he's taking shots from back at bench. Ston will have the opportunity to close out on it, finally getting some impact with the op, and a second kill is going to be claimed by him too. Just Moose and scratch that. Just, no, not even him. I can't even finish the sentence. It's Fragsters to quickly finish up the situation and get their 5th round.
Man, Fragsters not even letting you cast. You can talk fast, Blue. Didn't keep up with that. That was
speed it up a bit.
Yeah, just every single trade was on point. Now, every time someone's attention got taken away, someone shot on the side, and that's kind of how you hope all of your CT fights go. But for Fragsters, that dream was a reality. Tough spot. eUnited had a small chance there to get 1 kill, but and that would have changed things up at B, but they couldn't find it. They couldn't get anything going. Fast rats are a huge risk for that reason.
We are going to start to see, however, eUnited prep up for another direct execute into the A-bomb site. Dazzle's out first to be able to take Tetris control. Refresh, first up to bat here. He picks up 1 for himself, moves in as Bubsky claims the second. He's now the ace player here, though. Dragonfly also contributing back from by ticket. He's going to start to push outside. He's going to get aggressive, even going inside of the molly, walking right past it, in fact, and getting way up towards the opening triple box. But Relics has the angle to counter that back out. He takes him down, and we're even once again into a 2v2. As just Torvin and Bubsky remain alive for the CT side, and Dapper's seen them. He knows they're back by tickets, and Relics can prime for that. He knows they're going to make an aggressive push outside here in a second, but no! They've lost Relics. The bomb's gone down, and Dapper loses his position to quickly take out Bubsky. So both the CTs maintain. The flank does 0 damage, and again, Fragsters show up with a massive round, bringing it to 6-8 as we enter the final round of the half.
Oh my God, you got to wonder what's happening. I mean, it's just all falling apart. It seems like it's just such a confidence, like just a very palpable confidence shift where it's pretty much just the kills that are seeming to be just going all the way of the Fragsters, right? Trades across the board in every single round. Somehow, and for some reason, Fragsters are the ones to call the pause. I wonder why, if they are going to decide what they're going to do aggressively this round. I'd like to see what Dragonfly's spawn position is, because he's the only one with an op right now. It seems like he's way in the back, so yeah, he can do. He still has one of many options, but they're not going to be all that exciting.
So he's probably just going to go to a more standard position that he's been playing off of. He's more than likely been playing towards A or mid for the most part. Like I said before, they had him on B on the opening couple of rounds, but eUnited have very much been favoring A takes, so it was much better, I think, to keep him towards both middle and the A site, considering his more, kind of clutch potential and capability with the op, especially on the CT side here, that he's definitely shown up with once again.
Oh, Relics has grabbed the baton. He's holding on to this position, halfway down mid, to lead into a connector presence, and catches Refresh off guard, but is traded immediately by Ston.
Bubsky's still waiting back by ticket too. He's got no vision because of the smoke blocking his way. Ston's going to be moving in. Gets the surprising kill off on a Dazzle, but he's got trouble waiting and he's not aware of it. Dapper quickly gets a second kill against Dragonfly too. But now Bubsky finally can see some stuff back by ticket. The smoke's going away. They've got their re-entry point. Whoa, that's quick. Moose and Dapper get those final 2 kills in the split of a second. And with that, a 9th round will be claimed by eUnited as we end the half.
All right, showing us that they're still into this. I mean, that was confidently played. Very fast pace. I'm really liking this matchup a lot, you know? Hopefully this does develop into kind of a longer storyline where these guys meet more than once.
Surprisingly close, especially considering the somewhat one-sided starts that we've had on both maps now, with eUnited going up, I think, like 5 or 6 rounds back on Nuke, and on this map going up 8 rounds before we ever see the first real gun round claimed by eUnited. But sadly, once again, that momentum was lost throughout the course of the half, and that gave Fragsters a chance to keep the scoreline close. Pretty much the exact same scoreline that we had on Nuke, and now the sides are going to switch.
So precisely what we saw on map 1. The 9-6 half, Fragsters in that map pulled out the pistol, tied it up. Oh no, I think they actually had the momentum stolen back from them after the second round on Nuke. They got eco'd as well.
So it was an opening pistol win that came out from Fragsters, and eUnited quickly brought it back at them with the eco and carried that through. The attempt to force back on the 3rd round from eUnited sadly did not go the way they would have liked, and from that point forward, it was looking like eUnited was going to take an easy first half and then like 12-3 or something of that nature, but didn't end up being the case. Fragsters finally found their momentum. Specifically, we saw Ston getting really into the game, because remember, he didn't have any kills until like basically until we started seeing Fragsters win rounds on the 9th or 10th round here, and ever since then he has taken over and is currently leading for his team at 11-13, with the next highest player being at 9 frags.
All right, let's kick things out. Kick things off with what might be the last pistol of the series. Hopefully not for eUnited, who have a lead. We've just seen them lose before. Dapper takes first contact at mid. Couple of good pistol kills from him. Clean USB headshots, and the bomb is dropped in line of sight. Wow, that's a nice three-piece to maybe close this round out.
Still being found from him. It's just a matter of the last kill at this point. Bubsky is the last man standing. Dapper wanted the ace. However, Dazzle wants the round, and so he'll close out a little bit quicker there. United will take, however, dominant control of the pistol, and they're set ahead once again. Now it's 6-10, with the potential to bring it up to 6-12 before we see a full buy from Fragsters.
Yeah, small risk you take, you know, by coming up from the low ground at mid with very little utility on the pistol round. But again, because you have a confident player who's got the aim, you can kind of trust him to believe that he's going to win these fights, and that's sometimes all you need at the end of the day to make those a possibility. Ston spots one, jump spotting at B, gets tagged by the Molotov, falls back from that position as the rest of his teammates are working on late mid control, knowing now that eUnited have not used any resources or manpower to stop them from doing that, which is going to be a worrying sign for them. I mean, the fact that Window's giving up doesn't mean that people won't be watching it. Suddenly, more than one terrorist appears in Ace's screen.
This is Dapper showing up again with that good CT side presence that we've seen from him on other maps too. Great spray control on the opening 2 kills that he got to pick up the basically just 2 direct headshots. And that's all Fragsters were giving him in terms of an angle there. He still manages to piece it together on a full-out spam, and then gets a few more before the round concludes as well. So a good one from eUnited, solid hold despite the pinch that was coming in from Fragsters, and that little bit of a surprise that happened at Connector. They put an 11th up, and they've got an even easier round coming up now, as it'll be a full save from the Fragsters.
They've at least got that 1 HE. Which is, we have seen rounds where they don't invest anything into utility, and this one's going to be a bit different. I think a flash is a little bit more effective. Ace decided not to invest anything into this round, but now just wants to make sure to stay alive with the armor. And Dapper, again, getting frisky at mid with his teammates. Just mow down everybody who was trying to make presence towards Connector to make that a clean 12-6. I mean, this is a game that they can't lose anymore, right? Right, Blue? It's over, isn't it?
Absolutely. They have to win out from this point forward.
Yes.
So map number 2 must be claimed as their own. eUnited coming in now with the full buy for themselves. Couple upgrades coming across the board. Ace now picks up the op to play with here too. And for the Fragsters, of course, they get their standard first opening buy. Because of the light buys generally that we saw from across the board, though, Dragonfly is able to get off on this opening gun round. Tobin, though, shows up, finds himself the opener, along with Dragonfly, also picking up a frag on ramp. And he's just going to walk right into the A side. He's got a bit of support from his teammates, so there we go. Site's controlled. The problem is it is going to take another 5 to 10 seconds or so for that bomb to rotate up, and they're not watching towards Ticket, so Moose gets himself a great opener. Dazzle comes in to Ticket for the assist as he picks up that second kill. Bubsky trying to wrap back in, but Dazzle will still hold strong by the steps. Refreshed, it's really going to be all on him up on the top platform here as he's still waiting for Tobin to rotate in, but he's now alone. 1v2, but an opportunity is given to Tobin as we do see Relics just get picked off due to an aggressive jump. Dazzle, in the meanwhile, is well away from this action. Tobin's got what he needs now, be able to put the bomb onto the ground. The 1v1 clutch is going to be the tough part.
All right, playing field has been cleared. Tobin knows that he was last spotted at mid. Default plan is safe. He can play here in a number of ways. Spot the stairs push. Once he understands if no one's at Connector, can come back. I think at a certain point, his inner clock will tell him the big flank will occur, but Dazzle is already flanked him. Oh my god, he can't complete the kill. And Torba gets the better of him.
Torba with a split-second reaction to flip back around. Even with the disadvantage set against him there, manages to win it out and clutches out a major round for Fragsters to keep them competitive here and stop eUnited from running the gauntlet right up to 16. They've still got another rebuy, thankfully, because that was a bit of a bonus round for them. But Fragsters as well are going to come back into it. And Fragsters, because of how many players they lost, though, they end up worse for wear. They're going to end up with 3 SMGs going into this next engagement, but full utility still at least.
Yeah, listen, it's not often that you see Dazzle that shaky in that situation, but I think just recognizing the circumstances might have gotten to him. And these smokes can no longer be thrown because of this deep B smoke, but they don't want to give up the boost. 2 players in B, dedicated to holding. Not the best guns in the world for Fragsters. There's a world in which this hold could actually work out quite well for eUnited, depending on how long they stay here. Stalin to I think, feed into the thought for a fake, or the thought that maybe it's still a default.
Relic's gonna be holding himself back. There's the assist flash. He's having trouble getting the kills, but he confirms them both. Knocking down both Refresh and Torben. Moose can chime in now that Relic's is too low to continue the fight, at least from that position. Moose will look for one more. He's trying to spam in, hoping to catch him when he finally peeks, but it doesn't play out into his favor. Dragonfly gets the trade on the Moose. Of course, the cavalry has already arrived, and that's going to make it that much harder for these last two players on Fragsters to not only get out, but they have to go onto that platform because the bomb is still on the ground, too. They basically would have to win this via like a DM, but it's just not going to happen. Stawn locked inside of that position now, nowhere to run, and Dazzle picks up the final kill as eUnited get their 13th.
Yeah, and even though that clutch doesn't go their way, just because it came down to the last person and Fragsters win, they don't win the second one. They have absolutely no money. I mean, they've actually got to make a pretty important decision here. You would assume they might save, but it looks like they're going to force up. They're spending all of their money now. All their eggs in this basket to potentially give up the 14th and 15th round. It's eUnited now who smell blood, as they're going to see the force up, the scout at top mid, and if Dragonfly doesn't have impact here, you can bet their chances are going to be slim.
Good news is he doesn't have to worry about an immediate reaction, at least. He goes 1 for 1 at the end of the day. As now Dapper has a strong hold back by Ticket. Dazzle's finally going to chime in here now, too, back by the connector. But a great trade for Torben, but can't get a position in time to trade it back onto Dapper. He picks up the final kill. eUnited on the run now, just 2 away from claiming map number 2 and tying this series up.
Yeah, this is when you can start kind of dusting your shoulders off and mentally moving into potentially the last map, but again, Fragsters are clearly capable of the comeback, so don't want to write them off just yet, and in fact will, with the 3rd round loss bonus, be able to put together something, if not the best buy in the world, to fight against map point for the next 8 rounds.
Quick rush coming out from the Fragsters. It's right through Palace, basically. Dapper said that was caught with a nade in hand. However, this spam can still do some work. There we go. 3 more picked up by Dapper, although he does get traded. Ace is in with another pickup as he knocks out Torben, and Refresh stuck by Firebox with just a Glock in hand. No way he's surviving that encounter. eUnited win it out again, and this will be it now. eUnited go up to map point, and Fragsters now have to run 8 rounds straight to trigger OT. Otherwise, they're looking to cash the rematch from yesterday.
The money's looking pretty good, especially with that plant. They have the option for the op. They can have just a full set of everything and decide to play the round out however they want to. As long as they want to, they can go head-to-head in utility for map control. They can sell a double fake if they'd like. So it's definitely going to be one of the harder rounds that eUnited are going to have to go up against, but they're probably not worried at this point with so many rounds to work with. All right, so here into this round, top mid control, standard set of affairs for Fragsters. And a good nade in response. Stawn all the way down to half HP already. You can't ask for a more value grenade than that. That's
almost max damage as well right there. Just off, I think the lowest you could bring a player with armor is around like 45 or something in that neighborhood. So very, very close to a perfect nade there against Stawn to start off the round. eUnited, however, have their own tricks up their sleeve. Ace specifically having that very advanced position inside of Palace. Looks like he's not going to see much of a contest, at least on the opener though. Refresh almost ends up pushing into his crosshair, but ends up backing away instead. Doesn't mean we might not see him reaffirm that position a few moments later. It's actually Dazzle next to the window. And the immediate counter flash. He knew there was going to be a molly to follow up that kill. Thinking ahead of things there. Finds his own safety. But Bubsky, also moving in with a quick trade, finds Dapper. Opens up quite a bit of possibility for an A take here now for the Fragsters. As they have mid control, they have that path through connector cleared. And they've got another man to go up ramp, too. It's just the Opper inside of Palace they are going to have to worry about. And also Dazzle now as he jumps out of the window. And there's that up presence, too. Ace jumping into the fight. He's got one for himself. Dazzle quickly dropping the bomb. Just Refresh left alive. And as he goes down, the map is over. eUnited claim our second one, tying the series up at 1-1 with a final map score of 16-7.
Yeah, this is kind of the confidence they needed moving into map 3. They've actually got cash to look forward to as well, which I have to assume that they're going to feel very good about. I mean, this is a map that they know how to play, and again, yeah, they not only wanted to win this map, they wanted to do it in style, and I think that they accomplished that.
Yeah, so now it just becomes basically repeat what we did yesterday. Let's close out this map one more time against this team. We've got the series, not only that, but we've got the playoff spot too. At the same time, Analysis Desk made a very good point that potentially Fragsters may have taken a bit of a closer look at that map compared to eUnited, so they might have found something that would have allowed them to win out this map, as it was still very, very close between those two teams yesterday.
Yeah, we saw, I think, Rogue use that that strategy versus Space Soldiers, where they picked a map that Space Soldiers just played, and they had a much better Dust 2 at their second go at it, so I could see that potentially working out for them. Again, there's not like a window of time for them to really get qualitative practice at the tournament, so for them to expect them to change the map completely is probably not going to happen, and studying their most recent cache demo is actually probably going to do well for them, so we do have a real game on our hands potentially.
Absolutely, so it's definitely something to look forward to, guys. Once again, story of the map right there. We see eUnited cut ahead very quickly at the beginning of it, going all the way up to about 8-1 before we finally see players like Ston activate there, not getting a single kill until pretty much halfway through the opening half there. But he shows up, he brings a massive performance increase, and overall, though, it's not enough for his team to bring themselves back into the game. eUnited claim map number 2, so map number 3 is going to be coming up in just a couple of moments. Ladies and gentlemen, stick with us, and we have more from the DreamHack Open in just a few.
Place your bets at gg.bet. Most